Who is the single most impressive athlete sportsperson of all time? Jim Thorpe. No one I have ever known could walk into any sport, compete and win, except for Jim Thorpe. Olympic gold medalist. Professional football, the precursor to the NFL. Professional baseball, MLB. Professional basketball. Ice hockey, lacrosse. Tennis. Professional boxing. Handball. Track and field. There are a few people who play 2 or 3 sports and did good. Bo Jackson and Michael Jordan come to mind. Jim Thorpe also played when racism was in full swing. He was a Native American. I see a lot of people on here who are famous and some who are rightfully so popular and incredibly influential to people and the sport. But I want to note that Travis Pastrana is a professional in multiple sports and incredible good at each of them. Motocross, freestyle motocross, rallycross, and other extreme sports. Not only does it take extreme athleticism, determination, guts, balls, ability to overcome fear and push the boundaries to new levels in all sports that he does. Jof Nonsen skied 50 to 100 miles almost every day. Was the first person to cross Greenland. He burnt his ship down when he landed to motivate him, invented the icebreaker ship to reach the North Pole. He failed but skied and kayaked home. Saved tens of millions of lives by creating the refugee system during WW1, still used by the end today. Has a PhD in zoology and a kick-ass mustache. https www. Kelly Slater. I know nobody cares about professional surfing, but he is far more dominant than anyone else in their sport, and it will never be repeated. From the Olympic website, he holds nearly every significant record in the sport, with 11 world titles, 55 event victories, and the record for being both the youngest and oldest men's world champion. Slater claimed his first world title as a 20-year-old in 1992, and won his last at 39 in 2011. The fact that I don't see Wilt Chamberlain mentioned is a damn crime. He was completely dominant in his basketball career, where they had to change rules to try and tone him down. He was insanely fast and ran marathons after his basketball career was over. Hell, there was even a rumor that Arnold Schwarzenegger lifted weights with him once while they were filming Conan and refused to do so afterwards because he was so freakishly strong. I wouldn't say he'd have been the most impressive athlete ever, but it's a fucking shame that Kipton didn't have the opportunity to smash barriers in running. Most people agree that it was only a matter of time before he broke the 2-hour marathon barrier, and he would have arguably been primed and ready to do it at Rotterdam a couple of weeks ago, all at the age of 24, and having only ran 3 marathons previously, all under to 2. Kretz. In this interview he says there was a banquet for him when he scored 400 goals one season when he was 10. He didn't know what to say, thought he wouldn't have to go. He just went up and cried and got a standing "oh poor kid." No one ever talks about his younger kid records. I bet they're off the charts as well. I'm going to lean into the word impressive and say Usain Bolt. His 9.581 OM is mind-boggling. He probably could have gotten a 9.56 if he didn't look at the scoreboard towards the end. I'll also just throw out Bo Jackson for skill in multiple sports. To be great at football and baseball, and to be so big but so fast. Insane athlete. Probably should have done the Olympics too. I'll take some flack for this, but I'll put in one for Steffi Graf. Others had done it before, and a few have come close since. But Graf was the last player, man or woman, to win the calendar year Grand Slam in tennis. This happened in 1988. And she also won the Olympic gold medal that year, claiming a golden slam that still hasn't been matched. Bo Jackson. His career was shortened by injury, and if we're evaluating by pure athleticism, nobody holds a candle to him. Oh, the most dominant virtual athlete as Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl was so overpowered that my friends and I wouldn't allow anyone to use him when we played because using Bo Jackson was an automatic win. Ronnie O'Sullivan would be in a league on his own. Single-handedly kept eyes on a sport that's on a downward trajectory, ability way beyond anyone else to ever play. Household name in a game that's very hard to sell to the uninitiated. Cristiano Ronaldo epitomizes how far hard work can get you. He would have a shout. Dave Winfield could have been a pro in 3 sports: MLB, NFL, an NBA .1 pick in 3 professional drafts: MLB, NBA. Harbour could have gone pro in MLB as a pitcher and outfielder, but didn't want to spend the time in the minors as a pitcher when he knew he could go straight to MLB as a fielder and hitter. Olympia, one of the greatest Olympians of all time. Ancient or modern, Leonidas won both prestigious sprints, the Stadion and the Diolos, and the race in armor for successive games. 1:6 for BC, 1:50 to BC. Favorite fact: Leonidas was 36 years old by the time he won his 12th Olympic wreath. If the bar is athletic ability, then it's any world record holder in the decathlon. The level of all-around athletic ability is otherworldly and can't be comprehended by regular folks, even by folks with a lot of sports competition experience. These are the true superhuman people on Earth today. Wilt Chamberlain, numerous records that will likely never be broken. Rule changes needed to contain his dominance. Only player to score 100 points in a game, which nobody has been able to do since. Played volleyball after retirement, and his durability was legendary. Aside from the respective GOATs of each sport, one that impressed me a lot was Ivan Perisic. Professional football player and also played volleyball for his national team on the Olympics. Very few people make it to the pros in one sport. Bro did it in 2 sports. Wild. Yui Sasaki won the last Olympic women's wrestling gold medal. Not only did she not lose a match, but no opponent scored a single point against her. Period. No disputed maybes. Perfectly executed. She doesn't look human the way she moves and wraps you up. Sebastian Loeb is impressive to me. Wins the WRC for the record of 9 times in a row, and decides to retire at 38 without anyone being even remotely close to his level. Comes back for one race a whole decade later, wins the race and goes back to retirement. Alex Honnold, Olympic gold medal type athletic performances, where silver or less would mean certain death. Truly one of the most mentally fortified athletes of all time. Also donates a good chunk of his earnings to a non-profit he started every year. Decathletes are insane. Are watching the 2020 Olympics, and Damian Warner won gold while running a 110 meters hurdle race time that would have earned a bronze in the open final, and a long jump distance long enough for a silver medal. I don't remember his name right now. Go and edit this comment later. At the guy that played Sportacus on the Lazy Town show. That man won several times Global Athlete Awards, and he did it only because a friend of him dared to not do it. Somehow the great Zetapic never shows up on these lists. Guy showed up at the Olympics one year and won the 5K, 10K and marathon all in the same Olympics. Set an Olympic record in all 3 events at the time as well, I think. Basketball, it's Jordan, of course. To 3-peats, that probably would have been 7 or 8 in a row. If he hadn't left to try baseball for whatever reason, that was a level of dominance that's unlikely to ever be repeated. Sir Stephen Redgrave. 5 consecutive Olympic rowing gold medals. That's being at your peak for 20 years, and he did it despite having a too small word for him. HTTPSN. Though Jackson was the most physically gifted athlete I've ever seen. Jackie Robinson lettered in for sports at UCLA before gaining fame with the Dodgers. I'm fine with throwing Gretzky in there to round out a trio. Lots of great answers in here, but let me add another ... Edwin Moses in the 400 meters hurdles. Between 1977 and 1987, Moses won 107 consecutive finals, 122 consecutive races, and set the world record in the event 4 times. HEL Atherton dominated women's DH mountain biking in a way few athletes have dominated their sport, winning 10 consecutive rounds of World Cup racing, and winning every round in a World Cup season, etc. Elaine Robert, The French Spider-Man. Man climbs skyscrapers without any safety equipment and suffers from vertigo. He's used his skills to raise awareness for climate change and other causes. Absolutely Alex Honnold. He free soloed El Cap in Yosemite and regularly performs incredible feats that the average person just wouldn't even think about trying. He's a marvel for sure. Kelly Slater, and there's absolutely no debate. Got his first world championship gold at 20, and the last one at 50 years old. This is absolutely unprecedented in the sport history. Easily LeBron James by athleticism alone. He's almost 40 and he still plays in an insane fashion. Impressive feat. He's not the NBA GOAT, but he's definitely an impressive athlete. Going off the board a little, but how about Jahangir Khan, a Pakistani squash player who went undefeated for 5 years, 1981-1986, winning 555 straight matches. Crazy, right? Tiger Woods. The 2019 Masters win had got to be one of the best tournament wins in history. Not to mention his most recent 24 consecutive cuts made at the Masters this year. Wilt Chamberlain Channel Fuba Sports. Alexander Karelin, a Russian wrestler with 887 wins and only 2 losses. Both losses very controversial and by only 1 point. Probably the most dominant athlete in history.